problem. There's a big problem in the black community. And I don't know who to blame, but I think it's a wayward life kind of style because nobody cares about anybody. It's not like, let me use this example. Unlike Africa, when we're growing up, kids have to be where kids belong. If you are a grown person, like we respect people based on their age. So when you see kids misbehaving, as a grown person, you step up and solve the problem or put them to do the right thing.
A grand rising kings and queens from Africa and across the ocean, welcome back to my YouTube space. I wish you peace, love and light to all my brothers and sisters watching today. Whether you are in Ghana, whether you are in Kenya, whether you are in South Africa, whether you are in Atlanta, whether you are in Kingston, Jamaica, whether you are in Caribbean at large, I wish you peace and love. Now, this is a Ghanaian brother, an African brother recently went to America, if I'm not wrong, or he is living in America, or he has been there for so long. And he said that he was shocked with what he saw in America. He was shocked by what he saw in the black community in America. He described it as maybe disrespectful, different, and at times even confusing. And he made a 10-minute video describing this. Before we judge anyone, I want us to pause first. You know, this isn't an attack. This isn't an attack. It's a moment of real, raw reflection. And this is a family talk between black people. African and African Americans are part of one tree. Even if the branches have grown differently, but we are part of one tree. Okay? Let's pause first. I want us to watch this clip of this African brother, and then we come back with more commentary about the video.
How the black community shocked me. As an African, when you come to America and we come and meet our brothers and sisters in America here, life will shock you. The way people behave will shock you. You get a cultural shock. I say this to say something. When you step your foot in America, you will notice that there's a problem in the black community. And you ask yourself, how did this start? And how are we going to solve this problem? But when you observe for some time, you will notice that that particular problem cannot be solved. I am saying this based on our behavior. Like when you come, certain things will shock you. You will behave and they will think that you are disrespectful. This thing is right now, they are saying it. They said, we Africans, when we come here, we don't respect them. But they don't know that how we were raised, and when we come here, the things we see, it shocked us. We look at it and like, why is this person doing this? Why is this? Why is this that? Why can a normal human being do this? You can see something negative in your entire life as an African. You just know that this is negative. And you ask yourself, why are they doing it? And everybody is looking at them. Life will shock you. You will just notice there's a problem. There's a big problem in the black community. And I don't know who to blame, but I think it's a wayward life kind of style because nobody cares about anybody. It's not like, let me use this example. Unlike Africa, when we're growing up, kids have to be where kids belong. If you are a grown person, like we respect people based on their age. So when you see kids misbehaving, as a grown person, you step up and solve the problem or put them to do the right thing. Let me set the example. When I was in Ghana, I was a teacher. So I will be riding, I have a motorbike. I had a motorbike. I ride my motorbike to work and back home every day. So I can be coming home from work in the evening and I'll see young kids like let me say 17, 18, 19, like that, and they are sitting in a particular joint, they go and hide somewhere smoking, or they are drinking and they are doing something, and I just know that this thing these kids are doing will have a negative impact in the future. I will just park my motor and I will remove my belt and whip them. They will run away. They know that what they are doing is wrong. That's why I'm whooping them, and none of them will stand and say, let me fight back. You dare not. And we do this in Africa because if you allow it and the negativity continue, it will affect you directly or indirectly in the future. So we always solve our problem before it grows, because if you allow it to happen, it's going to affect you one way or the other. We do that in Africa. You will see a young kid, let's say, talking square up or trying to talk trash to a grown person, and somebody who is older than him will just come and slap the hell out of you. Who dare you? That's disrespectful. No matter how strong you are, respect the age. You see, let's say, how dare you see a young guy, let's say 20-year-old boy, talking to a 40-year-old lady? Can I get your number? That's disrespectful. We don't allow that to happen. That's disrespectful. So you correct the problem before it grows. And when you come here, you just see everything upside down. When you see kids misbehaving here in America, no matter your age, the best solution you can do is to mind your business. Because if you step in without your African lifestyle to say, let me stop them, so that because this thing they are doing will get them into jail, or to get them into a bad life practice that will affect them in the future, you will know very well that what they are doing will put them in trouble. You will know that what they are doing will either get them locked, get them killed, or it will ruin their future. But you cannot say anything, because it's in the black community. Everybody is for themselves. No leader, no grown person. You cannot correct problem. When you see a problem, go away. When you see them even stealing, mind your business, or else if you say, hey, stop, they can turn around and kill you, or do something to you, or hurt you. And this is the problem that I just observe. Sometimes I will just think about it. You think to some level, and your brain will just freeze. Just leave the problem alone. It's a big problem in the black community. And when you look for the future, when you are looking, the future look even worse than it is now. Because kids today, sometimes you hear on the news the crimes that teenagers are committing in America. You ask yourself, what the hell? When I was at that age, you were scared of certain things. Here, it's just a loose environment. It's like nobody cares, and nobody can shout at anybody. The only person the kids scared of is police. And this is why I was talking about the communities and community leaders. In Africa, we have chiefs. A chief can just give a command, and everybody will respect that command. When the chief say everybody sleep, nobody should come out at this time, everybody will obey that. Here it doesn't happen. When two brothers are fighting, the mother or the father in the house, the first thing they will do is call police. Nobody can shout at the other one, hey, sit down, you are the younger one, stop. And the person will listen and stop. That is why police in America are so much involved in the black community, because we use the police to solve problems that could have been solved within the family. And when you get police involved in so much of your business, you will get problem with them. because they're not going to solve the problem based on your family rules and regulations. Because in Africa, everybody have families. You have our rules and regulations. No family want their kids to go out there and commit a crime. It will be a disgrace to the family. So they protect their kids that way. Here is like the police is the best leader, like the only person to correct problems in America. In Africa, we don't allow that to happen. You solve the problem internally first. When it gets bigger than you, then you involve the police. But here in America, especially in the black community, once a slap, if two brothers are having an argument and the other one slap the other one, police, guns, fighting. The other one is trying to even kill the other one. It will escalate, and you ask yourself, how can a slap lead to this? Because nobody can shout, nobody can stop anything. Say, hey, sit down, you are the... No. But in Africa, I remember I was bigger than my elder brother. But anytime there's a confusion, we are talking and we are arguing about something, if my mom says, hey, sit down, stop, who dare me? I will just shut up there. It doesn't matter you right or what, you will shut up. You can't do that here in America. The community is loose for problem. The community is just going down, and you know that it's going down. Even now, it is bad. But if you think about the next 5 years, 10 years, it is worse. It's a big problem. It's a cultural shock that I don't know, but we can get better. We need to get better. We have to get better.
Welcome back. You have heard the brother, and all of us have heard him very clearly. One of the biggest things we need to talk about in this video is culture. African culture, whether Kenyan, Ghanaian, Nigerian, Ethiopian. African culture is deeply rooted in respect, community, and tradition. Now, children are taught to greet elders with humility. Family is everything. Disrespect, it's a big offense. But African Americans, on the other hand, they were raised in a total different system. One built on trauma, survival, rebellion, and decades of fighting to exist in a land that constantly pushed them down. They were fighting to exist in a land that never wanted them. As an African, I have a different culture. I have a different approach to different things. African Americans have different approach to different things that we may differ as black people, as Africans and African American. Sometimes what seems to be disrespect to an African is actually a form of strength, self-defense, or just American culture. And when this Ghanaian brother see a young black man in the US talking about or talking back boldly or dressing in a certain way, he may be shocked, not realizing that the young man grew up in a war zone of racism, in a war zone of poverty and survival. This is not to excuse bad behavior, yes, you get that, but to understand where it comes from. Now, I will say this. A lot of African immigrants say that black Americans are unfriendly or even jealous. Yes, you heard me right. A lot of African immigrants say that. But the truth is, many black Americans feel abandoned by Africa. For centuries, they were stolen, enslaved, and forgotten. And when they finally stood up in places like Montenegro, or places like Selma or Ferguson, Africa wasn't always there. It's not Montenegro, it's Montgomery. I think M-O-N-T, not Negro. There's this seat, M-O, Montgomery. Montgomery. You see, Africa wasn't always there for them. And there is a pain on both sides. Africans ask questions like, why are they so angry? Why are Black Americans always angry? But Black Americans too ask, why are you acting like you are better than us? This is a two-way questions they always ask each other. We are brothers, and we need to understand ourselves. The moment we understand ourselves, the better, and the earlier we will leave fighting. We are not enemies. We are just wounded siblings trying to understand each other after centuries of being separated. Now, my African brother here narrated or noticed difference between or difference on behaviors. But those differences are shaped by a brutal history. Let's not forget that enslavement lasted for 400 years. Let's not forget that Jim Crow law legally made Black people second-class citizens. Let's not forget this. Mass incarceration destroyed families. Let's not forget that the media painted Black people as criminals, gangster, or maybe clowns. Let's not forget that first before we try to excuse or we try to dive into this video. In that environment where Black Americans grew, became hardened, suspicious, angry, and some lost connections to their ancestral roots. Many don't even know what country they came from. They just know pain. They just know police brutality. And they carry it every day. They can't walk on the street with their chest high. They can't. Because each and every time they are made to go down. You hear me? When a Ghanaian or a Kenyan or a Senegal man or someone from South Africa walk in proudly in America saying that I'm from Africa, maybe it can trigger the pain, not jealousy, maybe the grief. You understand? I don't know if you're trying to understand what I'm saying. Okay? And what look like disrespect is actually generations of trauma unhealed. Okay? Honestly speaking, when you come to America, don't walk in thinking that you are better. This is my African brother. When you go to America, don't walk in thinking you are better than Black Americans. Yes, you may speak your language. Okay? You have your family. Maybe they are together. But remember, because you are not stolen, you stayed rooted. You stayed with your roots. They want, and you need to approach Black Americans with kind of love, humility, because their roots were cut off. Don't mock their slang. Don't mock their music. Don't mock their anger. Don't look down on their pain. Okay? Instead, just ask questions. Yeah, ask questions, listen, learn, and most importantly, connect. I have an African American sister who is a Bantu. She traces her roots to Bantu in Kenya. Oh my God. Her name is Angelina, if I'm not wrong. If you are watching this video, comment down there. I'm going to pin your comment. Tell me how you felt when you come to Kenya, when you visited Kenya. Tell me the connection you felt, how deeply you were connected. I just want my African brothers to know we are all connected in some spiritual, ancestral roots. We ain't different. We just grew differently. Okay? Black Americans are not lazy. Black Americans are not wild. They are survivors of the most brutal system in a human history. But you see, they are still standing. They are still standing tall. If it were you, an African, I think this could have break us down. For example, we had colonization and we have not still yet healed from colonization up to now. We are still living under in our own land. So imagine we had the system that was in America. Something different. Now, to my Black American family, I'll beg you this, or I'll ask you to do this. Don't assume African hate you or think they are better. Most of the time, it's ignorance, okay? Not arrogance, it is ignorance. Africans are also victims of colonization, corruption, exploitation, and white supremacy, okay? They have been fed lies, like we have been fed lies as Africans about you. And just like you are fed lies about Africans or about Africa as a continent. They may think you are all rappers or gang members. Yes, That's all a lot of Africans think. Right now, we have started having education. We are educating ourselves. But even me, the first time, when I started noticing myself, I thought African Americans are all rappers or gang members because we watch the movies. But that was just stereotypes, okay? You hear me? So, I will say this. Because of what we have been shown on TV shows, we think otherwise. You may think they are all Africans all live in huts, but no, because that's what the media shows you. Now it is time to drop the stereotype. It is time for Black Americans to start learning about Africa again. The traditional, the power, the pride. Let's bridge the gap. Let's not widen the gap. Let's bridge the gap between Africans and African American. Okay? Let's share some real life stories between us. I'm always open. As an African from Kenya, I'm always open. You call me. WhatsApp me anytime. You want to talk to me as an African American. Let's engage. Let's share stories. Okay? Yes. There was a one Nigerian man who went to Atlanta with the same mindset like Black Americans at road, you know. But later he made friends with a black barber, and that barber shared his family story from slavery to civil rights to losing cousins in gang violence. And that Nigerian man broke down crying. I had a meeting with him here in Nairobi, and he told me, you talk about Black Americans as if you understand them better. You are one of the few Africans who understand what Black Americans go through. I told him, it's because I have learned the history and I don't assume things. I ask questions from my Black American brothers and sisters. The Nigerian I'm telling you today, they are running a Pan-African youth program together with a Black American brother. Another example, there's a Kenyan woman who said she was scared of Black Americans until one of them protected her from harassment on a subway train in New York City. And that moment changed her life. So these stories matters. Ask questions. Stories matters because they remind us that love can overcome ignorance if we listen and open up our hearts. Okay? So the truth is, when we stay divided, the system wins. When we fight each other, colonizers relax. But when a Ghanaian brothers links arms with a Black American sister, a powerful shift begins. And that's how we reclaim our global identity. Black Americans have the power of protest, media, and global influence. Africans have the power of land, resources, and ancestral hashtags or heritages. So if we combine that force, we become unstoppable. So imagine Black Americans building homes in Ghana and Kenya. Africans supporting reparations and justice movements in the US. Just imagine that. Imagine diaspora investing in Africa. Imagine Africans creating safe spaces for those fleeing US racism. And I have something for that too. I have a video on that I will share with you. This is the vision. This is the dream. And it starts by having honest conversation like this one we are having right now. So to my African brother or to my Ghanaian brother, I'll tell you, yes, you are shocked and you have said that you are shocked about what is happening, and I hear you and your feelings are valid. But I also challenge you to go deeper, okay? Ask why those Black Americans act that way. Learn their history. Walk in their shoes. And when you return to Ghana, teach your people not to judge, but to connect, okay? Because no matter how different we seem, we are still family. We are still one people. We haven't just sat at the same table for a long time and discussed. But this time, I'll tell you, this time we're going to have a conversation between Africans and African Americans, whether online, whether on site. Okay? Thank you so much again for being here, my kings and queens, for working with me on this journey. And I know this wasn't easy, but growth never is. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, share this video. Please, please, please. I want to be on 100K subscribers. I want to reach 100K subscribers. Okay? Let's move forward, not with judgment, but with love. Let's build the bridge between Africa and the diaspora. One truth at a time. I love you all. Until next time, stay proud, stay powerful, and stay united. One black people, one love, one destiny. Until next episode, peace out.